Right. Okay, it's a delight now to introduce my next special guest on my show. We have Lily Hain joining me on my show. Welcome to my show. Great to have you on, taking time out today.
Thank you. I'm happy to be here.
Great, nice to meet you. How long have you been like, performing for, like musically?
There's a long answer and a short answer. The long abbreviated answer is that I've been singing since I was like 5, 6 years old. Started singing in church choir and just sang in choir up until college. Started writing music in high school and performed a couple original songs then, but I feel like I didn't really get into my like full groove of like writing music until probably 2020, the pandemic. I kind
Hmm,
of spent a lot of time working on it and honing my craft. And yeah, so
that's ace. And where are you situated? Like, say, like in America?
yeah, I live in New York City. I'm originally from Charlotte, North Carolina, but I moved up here in 2021.
And moving to, like, say, the Big Apple, as we call it, was that one of the best moves you can make, for your career? Has it really kind of elevated it in a way?
Totally. I always wanted to move to New York. This is where my parents met, and then they moved down to North Carolina. But so ever since I was little, I was like, I want to move to New York and I
Mm,
want to be a singer. So it's definitely been really helpful, and I feel like I found a really good like group of other songwriters and producers, and I really kind of started to find my footing here. And I'm just grateful to be able to live here and be an
great.
artist.
And although it's like, a major city like, let's say London or Paris, do you say like the community, the music community is quite small, everyone kind of knows each other, like open mic nights, a gigging scene?
Yeah, the more I get into it, the more I realize how small it is. And I kind of love it. It's nice to, I don't know, have like a lot of mutual friends and
Hmm.
stuff. But I mean, at the same time, there is so much music going on here, and there are so many people pursuing music. So I always end up meeting new
Hmm.
artists, which is really fun.
Great. And we know when you say like growing up, did you ever form a band, when you were younger? And what was the sound like, was it like pop punk or rock or
Yeah, so I never made like an official band, but I remember there was this one time in fourth grade where my couple friends and I went on a beach trip and we made a band for the weekend and we wrote one song, and then after that weekend we quickly disbanded. But other than that, it's mostly just been me
Hmm.
solo acoustic guitar. And then I finally got like a proper band together this past year to work on my new stuff.
Great. So you're a solo artist, but you also work with like say like-minded like session musicians.
Yeah.
Right. Are you promoting any new material out at the moment? You might like to tell
I
us about?
haven't announced it yet because I don't have an official date yet, but I am releasing a deluxe version of my album that I just put out in February. And I'm releasing that sometime in the fall. And then I've been working on my next project, which is still pretty early days,
Hmm.
but hoping to be able to release some songs next year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So something to look forward to there. Having my notes here, you released an EP, an album called Fatal Flaws.
Yes.
And on the Fatal Flaws, do you have any standout or lead singles you may like to mention?
Yeah, I think one of my favorites consistently has been Oh God. I feel like that song just kind of like it's the first song on the album. And it just kind of like set the tone for the rest of the album. I like how driving the beat is, and I don't know, it's just a fun one. And I do have a music video in the pipeline for it
Hmm.
that I'm really excited to share. Um, so yeah.
That's cool. Um, Also, I know on your YouTube channel you've done like several covers. What do you enjoy about that side of the music, putting your own stamp on a song?
I've just always loved covering songs. I feel like I got really consistent with posting during the pandemic. And that's how I started to kind of grow my audience was through doing covers. And I don't know, I like putting my own spin on it and like adding my own harmonies and stuff. Yeah, it's just really fun for
Hmm.
me. I haven't been able to do it as much recently just because I've been working on a lot of my own material, but I
Hmm.
love doing it when I can.
And your surroundings, like living, say in like a capital or a big city, as we say. Does that inspire like your creativity, ideas, putting ideas together when creating songs and lyrics?
Totally, totally. I spent a lot of time in North Carolina last year, so I think people will kind of hear that in the next project. But New York is definitely like you can feel it in the bones of Fatal Flaws because I
Mm.
wrote all of it up here. And yeah.
And like say like writing songs, being a songwriter, is it something that comes naturally, or do you have moments where like say like authors or writers, you get like a block sometimes?
Yeah, I'd say for the most part, like I'm always writing. It definitely comes very naturally to me. It's kind of like a bunch of diary entries. It just helps me kind of process what I'm going through and what's going on. But I definitely have had like a couple bouts of writer's block the past year. And I think some people try to push through that, but I let myself have a break. If I don't feel it
Mm,
flowing, then I'm not gonna force something, and sometimes that's what I need to like start writing
mm.
again. But yeah.
Yes, have a break and come back to it.
Yeah.
That's
And
good.
I'll still write down like little lines and stuff, but I see myself like when I have writer's block, it's like, oh, I'm not getting a full song done. I'm getting like 4 lines done and then I can't do anything else. So it's not like I'm like not writing at
Mm,
all, but just not putting the pressure on.
mm. And what do you like about being a like self-release artist, being in control of everything you do?
Think like you said, just having control over everything, having
Mm,
control over the visuals, what singles I want to put out. It's just when you're with a label, you have to kind of go through a lot of people and get approval. And it's nice that I don't have to get
mm,
approval from other people to like put out my art. So that's really nice, but it's also a double-edged sword because there are a lot of decisions to be made, and sometimes I can be really indecisive.
mm.
So that can be a little stressful,
Yeah.
but it is really nice having full control over
Mm.
my art.
I guess it's what suits you at the end of the day. It's like scales, isn't it? You get your positives and then, you're not so positives.
Totally.
Who have been like your influences and inspirations, like say over the years, or would you say you've got just like your own sound?
There's so many influences. I think growing up, I listened to the Chicks a lot. Avril Lavigne was a big one. And then now there's so many awesome artists. Like I love a lot of UK based artists. I think in high school I was really into the band Daughter. And then recently I've really been loving Holly Humberstone, but I also really love Billie Eilish. So got a lot of different
Yeah,
genres going.
bit of a
Yeah,
mixture then.
totally.
Nice. If there was any moment in your career you could relive, would you do it? Would you relive it, or are you just happy like the present?
That's such a good question. If there was one moment I could relive, it's just like the recording process of Fatal Flaws. I just had so much fun during it, but I am pretty happy with the present and like finally being able to have the songs out. Because I
Mm,
do remember during the process, I was like, I want these songs out now, and it's such a like waiting game once you
mm,
finish the songs themselves.
yeah.
So, yeah,
Oh, that's good. And you're still got the world at your feet also.
totally.
And where's best for like people to follow you? I know there's so many like social platforms out there, and emailing lists and websites and
Totally.
hubs as well,
Yeah.
hyper websites. Where's best where you feel people can follow you all around?
I feel like Instagram is probably the best place just because I think I'm most active on there or my YouTube. My Instagram is at Lil Hain, Lilhain, and then my YouTube is just Lily Hain. Yeah.
That's amazing. And would just like to add anything, to the interview, like just mention any shout outs to like your fans or your followers or your friends.
Um, yeah, I'm so grateful that people take the time to listen to my music, and I'm excited to share what's next, and I'm excited to share the music videos. And yeah, I'm just really excited and like grateful to be on this journey.
Brilliant. And with my interviews as well, they always give the artist like, an opportunity. to have their songs played on the radio. Shall we pick a song from your is it the Fatal Floors album?
Yes.
And we'll get this on the show now.
Awesome. I think Oh God is a good one. It does have explicit words in it, but I also do have a clean version of it. Like
Okay,
it's
brilliant. Well, Lily Hain, thanks very much for joining me on today's show. We'll just find out a little bit about yourself and your music, and yeah, best of luck with your new material and your future music career.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
No worries, you're welcome.